Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let's get started with the first story of the day. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister's fiance that she's infertile? I'll try to keep this as simple as possible. My 26 male sister and my 29 female was very sick in high school. Her choice was either to die young or be able to conceive children. It was a hard decision for her, and she doesn't like to talk about it. She has been dating Adam, 29 male, for about 6 years, and he is really nice. The whole family loves him. He proposed to her last year, and they were planning to marry in March next year. But here's the problem. Adam really wants children. He always plays around with our little cousins at family events and talks about what he wants to do and teach his future children. We always thought that they were going to adopt, so we never brought it up. But since the engagement, I have noticed that he always talks about them as their children, as in biological. I don't know how to explain it, but it didn't seem like they were going to adopt a child. After thinking about it for a while, I decided to talk to Emma about it. I asked her out and gently brought up the topic. She did seem a bit angry about me mentioning it, but she explained to me that Adam treats adoption the same as giving birth and that he's happily all the same. It sounded believed, but I know my sister. She was lying. During the entire conversation, she could not look me in the eye. After a month, I finally decided to talk to Adam. This Sunday, we were gathered at my parents' house for dinner, and while everyone was busy and we were alone, I asked Adam how the adoption proceedings were going. Were they going to start now or after they got married? He looked surprised and asked me what I was talking about. I mentioned how he wants many kids, so they should probably be starting with the whole process early. He asked me if Emma wants to adopt a child because they had never talked about it. Since my parents were coming back, I asked him to talk to me later. Around the end of the dinner, I asked him for some help with my phone and lead him to the balcony, and I was honest with him. I asked him if he knew that Emma can't have children. At first, he thought I was joking, but when he saw that I was serious, he got this dead look on his face. I told him some of the details and said that it would probably be best if he talked with Emma for the full story. He was quiet for the rest of the evening. When they got home, they apparently got into a major fight. I know that he's currently staying with friends and asked for the ring back, but nothing else. Emma hates me, and our parents are mostly on her side and think that I shouldn't have said anything. I thought I was doing the right thing. This is such a huge secret to keep from your future partner, but maybe it really wasn't my place to say anything. I mean, I'm sad that happened to her when she was young and she can't have kids, even though she wants them. But at the end of the day, it's not right for you to lead someone on. 6 years, he proposed, they're going to get married next March. What was she expecting to do when she couldn't get pregnant? What, was she just gonna string him along and waste his time some more? I don't understand. There was like a Reddit story a while back of some lady saying, my new husband and I were married for like a year or something, and we couldn't get pregnant even though we were actively trying. And one day I went to his family's house, and his sister told me, his sister took me to the side, and she told me that her brother had a vasectomy, hence why I couldn't get pregnant. And she was so thankful. At the end of the day, sometimes it's good to mind your own business, and I feel like sometimes it's good to stand for what's right. Because why would this entire family sit there and watch this poor man get strung along, knowing damn well that this woman can't give birth? And he wants children. It's not like he doesn't care or he's on the fence about having kids. He actively tells y'all that he wants children, and she can't give birth at all. That's really mean. That's very raggedy. Just because unfortunate things happen to you in life doesn't mean that you have to also burden it with other people, especially someone that actually loves you. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister my support for her and my niece ends in January after I found out she has been lying? We'll try to keep this brief since last post exceeded the character limit. My sister, 25 female, has a 4-year-old. The baby daddy is the run-of-the-mill deadbeat, does not work, avoids court appearances, lives with his mother, does not even have a state ID. What grown adult doesn't have a state ID? I have been supporting my sister for 3 years. She was staying with her mom, but something happened to her, and she now lives in a retirement community, so she does not have the same amount of space. My mom asked me to make sure my sister is okay. She's the baby. I get it. She was young, and the father of her child played a good act. I do not blame her for that. So I cover childcare, rent for my sister. I'll spot her when she needs other stuff like school supplies, food, clothes for my niece. She's a manager at Target. Target isn't paying well for managers. When she has to work late, I will let my niece sleep over. I generally had pickups because I get off at 5. She generally handles drop-offs. I will take care of dinner, and my sister handles bath and bedtime. My mom recently let the cat out of the bag that my sister is going to Europe on the 12th to the 17th. My sister told me she was going to Florida for her high school friend's wedding. She asked if I would be willing to handle watching my niece. I said sure because she has been working late, putting in long hours at work. I pushed her mom and got the truth. She's seeing someone. Has not told him she has a kid. He thinks my niece is my child, and she helps me out from time to time. He has met my mom. She seems to like him. After I found out, I confronted my sister. She apologized. I told her I don't care she has until January. She told me I was being cold and misogynistic. Since I told her if she wants to date as a single mother, you have an obligation to be transparent with people you are dating that you have a child. She said she can separate the two, and I told her no, she cannot. She has a daughter. You cannot lie and say she's my kid so you can have fun and not scare people off. I don't understand the dating scene. Having a kid at 21 with another man that is not in the picture is a huge red flag. I told her so is lying about having a kid. This does not work either way. I asked if she planned to pretend her daughter is mine forever. She said I'm like a father to my niece anyways. Am I the a-hole here? I know this may get hard for my sister, especially my niece, without my support. She cannot afford where she lives. She cannot afford daycare and Target's pay. My mom has told me I do what is best for my niece. She's afraid if she pushes my sister too much, she will break down. I mean, is she gonna pretend like the child is not hers for the rest of her life? What if they actually worked out and they get married or something? Is she gonna say this is not my daughter for the entirety of their life? I'm so confused. How does she plan to do this? Plus, like, if someone doesn't want you and your child, then they don't want you. When you're a single parent, you have to be and you have to tell people that, hey, I have a kid. I'll be okay with that. And if they're not okay with it, then so be it. Like, the child's already here. What do you want them to do about it? Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that if he wants to say he does everything, then he can go ahead and prove it? I, 25 female, have been married to my husband, 29 male, for 5 years. I am a stay-at-home mom to 2 kids, 4 female and 1 male. While I was making breakfast this morning, DH was breaking down boxes so he could take out the trash and recycle that had piled up over the last week while we were all busy with Halloween activities. A box filled with packing peanuts got spilled when he picked it up, and one comment from him spilling them ended up turning into a big argument about how I don't help with chores around the house. For the record, the only 2 chores we agreed would be his responsibility were dishes and taking out the trash. Every once in a while, I ask for help with changing a diaper or feeding the kids the food I've already prepared. But the 2 main chores he has are dishes and trash. I take care of the laundry. I take them places during the day for their education, entertainment, library, children's museum, etc. I try to fit a lot of dishes in during nap time while our daughter eats lunch to try and help when the dishes are starting to get out of hand. And sometimes, if he's particularly tired after a day, he'll ask me to help with dishes so he can go to bed. Unfortunately, for the past week, both the trash and the dishes were neglected while we were running around doing Halloween activities with the kids. So in the argument this morning, he claimed that he does everything and has to beg me to do even just 1 load of dishes a month. And now he told our daughter that I'm being sarcastic because I left to go eat my portion of breakfast I made for the family in our bedroom while he finishes figuring out how to get all the trash taken out, do a load of dishes, feed our son the eggs I made, and find a way to entertain our daughter and keep both kids out of trouble while he's busy. And that's still not everything I do, because I managed to find a minute to do the kids' laundry earlier this week, and I'm the one that made breakfast before the argument started. Am I the a-hole for letting him prove he does everything if he's going to claim it? Exactly. If you're going to say that you do things, then you might as well prove it and actually do it, But, when you have small kids, it's so hard. Like, everything is just so hard. The day to normal, early, right now I'm about to get up and clean the kitchen and the living room stuff and wash dishes. But if I had a bunch of little kids running around, I would have to keep them out of trouble and watch them and do that. Multitasking is such a ridiculous thing when you have a bunch of little kids that you actually have to look after. So, the normal day-to-day task, that's a simple thing that wouldn't take you so long to do, is harder when you have a bunch of small kids, 2 kids, I think a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. But yeah, she's not wrong.